Welcome back to Mass Appeal, everyone. July 4th, the second most deadly holiday period of the year. So we have attorney Jack McQuaid and Yahaira Antonmarchi. They're from the offices of Marquis Salomone, here to help keep us a little bit safer. Thank you so much for joining us. Attorney McQuaid, why is it that you're here today? Why is it that you want to talk to us about these issues?
Seth, first I want to thank you for inviting Yahaira and I to be on your show. We're all very impressed with your show, family that are listeners, and the law office of Mark Salomone was lucky enough to, with WWLP, be a sponsor at the Westover Air Base show a few weeks ago.
That was a blast. We had a good time.
Yeah. So I'm here today because, as you know, July 4th is coming up, and July 4th is a time of year where we see the most deaths on the roadways. There'll be somewhere in the vicinity of 140 deaths on the roadways around the nation this July 4th. And I'm hoping to pass on some tips that might help your viewers to be better drivers and to avoid some of these crashes.
Absolutely. So let's talk about some do's and some don'ts when it comes to driving all year, but especially this time of year.
Well, at the law office of Mark Salomone, we see all sorts of bad injuries, and if people just followed certain common sense, they could avoid those things. First of all, alcohol. Alcohol is going to be involved in about 41% of those crashes that happen, fatal crashes that happen this coming weekend. And so don't drink and drive. I mean, everybody says it, it makes sense, but if you can avoid it, have somebody else drive for you, have a designated driver, just plan it ahead of time. And
it's also one of those things too, call a cab, because that pales in comparison to the financial and ethical costs of getting a DUI.
Let me tell you, you don't want to have to go through that system.
No, thousands and thousands of dollars, and who's to know the other people that you can hurt in the whole process.
Absolutely.
Call a cab.
Call a cab.
Designated driver.
Secondly, distracted driving, and in particular texting while driving. Law Office of Mark Salomone is involved with the Don't Text and Drive campaign. We've sponsored that. We see, I think, something in the range of about 31,000 people that were injured due to distracted driving, most of which was text driving. And as my son reminds me, if you have to make a call, pull over and make the call. Shut your phone off while you're driving.
Similarly, it's worth it. It's one of those things. It might take you a couple extra minutes to get where you need to go, but it's saving you injury.
Absolutely. Fatigue plays a big role, particularly at night. If you're feeling tired, ask someone else to take over the wheel or pull over and take a rest. Especially at night, we see that something like 4 times as many people are involved in crashes at night than during the daytime. So if you're tired, rest or get someone else to drive for you.
Also this time of year when the weather warms up, we see a lot more motorcyclists out and about, and there's specific tips that you have and things that motorcyclists need to keep in mind.
Yeah, unfortunately, we see an awful lot of injuries at Mark Salomone's office involving motorcyclists. Some of the most devastating crashes we have because they have no protection around them. So we ask motorcyclists, try to dress in ways that allow you to be seen. I have a good friend who wears mango, and by wearing something colorful, you're going to catch the eye of the fellow driver.
And it's a great fashion choice too.
Well, he likes it.
Everybody wins when you're wearing mango. But yeah, people do. They really, especially motorcyclists, they need
motorcyclists.
They need to look out even more than
look out even more. But you know, motorists share the road. Give them their full lane. Don't crowd them. If you see a motorcyclist ahead, give yourself plenty of distance behind them because you just can't bump them without causing serious injury.
That's true. We can all have fender benders and everyone walks out unscathed, but a fender bender with a motorcyclist.
Fender bender will be a broken leg, a broken arm, or maybe a death.
And similarly too, bicycles. You know, you get these small towns, and when you get to cities, you need to be careful of people on bikes because they can dart out at any point.
Well, bicyclists are very vulnerable because people don't expect them to be in the roadway, and they have the right of way just like a car does. So if a car is taking a right-hand turn, they have to yield to the bicyclist that's in the right lane before they can take that right turn. And pedestrians, another one, very serious accidents happen, and a lot of times they're in the right place, but the motorist doesn't see them. Of course, pedestrians should be in the crosswalk.
Exactly.
That gives them a little bit of protection. They do have the right of way in a crosswalk.
I think we all just need to use a little bit more caution. Now, the law offices of Marquis Salomone, you're here on behalf of these offices today. Yahaira, for people out there who aren't familiar, tell us a little bit about what your office does.
Well, we're a personal injury firm statewide. We've been in Western Massachusetts for about 30 years, 20 years of which Attorney McQuaid has been part of the litigation department. We process injury claims for injuries sustained trained in automobile accidents, slip and fall accidents, dog attacks, negligence, things of that nature, with an emphasis on client communication. You know, it's very important for us, for our clients, to always know what's going on every step of the way. And so, yeah, that's what we do. And for more information, you can find us online at marksalomone.com, and like us on Facebook for information on our staff, on our firm, what we do, charitable endeavors, things that we sponsor, things like that.
But it's so important. You know, there's so many things that happen. This is one of the most dangerous times of the year. If anything happens to, always remember, you know, call the police, communicate well with them, but also call your lawyer.
Absolutely.
And there's so many law firms out there, much like yours, that can really help provide great, sound legal reasoning. So that's what we need, and also we just need to be a little bit safer.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Stay safe.
Thank you so much for joining us
Thank
today.
you, Seth.
MarkSalomone.com, that's the website, that's
yep.
where you go. And you can also check them out. You're on State Street, is that right?
Yes.
That is right.
Perfect.
State Street in Springfield.